Internet, what is really good? You know who it is. It's the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. I'd like to welcome you to a special episode of Triple the Guy Speaks On, or what I should probably call it to be a complete asshole, and Triple the Guy reacts to all the King of Fighters 14 news, because that's what everybody else seems to do, and they do a horrible job at it because you all suck. I'm not saying you all suck like that. I'm just saying that in a comparison between what you do and what I do, is that I'm just greater than you because, nigga, you can never touch me on my level, because that's the way it's always been and the way it will always be. But anyway, seriously. Internet was really good. This has been an interesting day. It really has. But, you know what? This is my video. I can do this. I want the internet to know what my day's been like because of this information. When I woke up this morning, I woke up about 12 in the morning, triple the guide time, right? Woke up, saw that it was a couple of trailers that didn't get uploaded. You guys might have seen these by now. The mirror trailer for Killer Instinct and the two newest trailers for My Hero Academia Battle Fall. So, uploaded those trailers, got up, realized Game of Thrones came out this week, because I thought that was sometime next month, so I had to check the DVR, figured out I didn't tape it, and was hoping I could find it on demand somewhere, was able to, did all that, was trying to get all my shows together to sit down and watch them, had to check my Twitter, check my Facebook, check my Tumblr, all this stuff, because these are the things I do in the morning after I take a shower, brush my teeth, and shampoo my beard, because shampooing your beard is fucking important. Internet, just keep that in mind. Ladies don't like a stinky beard, y'all. For all my fellas, ladies don't like a stinky beard. And for my ladies, man, if you rocking the hair down there, keep it good, because you know you can have a clean pussy, but that hair down there smell, ain't no nigga want to eat it. Anyway, y'all know so far that got up, handled my business. Because I knew, the only thing I was looking forward to was that I knew at some point the trailer for K114 was supposed to come out, and then some point after that, I think if I remember, it was supposed to be 4 o'clock triple the guide time, it was supposed to be the Twitch thing where they were going to have a humongous part of the cast, I think a different set of characters that was at PAX East this weekend or wherever else they were showing the game. So I was waiting for all that. And in between trying to get all this together, the trailers came out. The massive info dump for someone who has been purposely, and I mean purposely and methodically, been dodging every attempt at all the attention whores who trying to leak this damn cast. Because I am going to say this, because I have the attention of the fucking internet. Dear you, if this is you and you qualified under you, look, I don't love attention whores, alright? When you sitting up here leaking information and all this old motherfucking shit because you want your name in somebody's mouth, nigga, look, you's a fraudulent ass motherfucker. Let's just keep it real, alright? I get it. The world that we live in now is all about being the center of attention, because the center of attention is how you get your looks, how you get paid, everything. I get all that. When you do things like leak information that you have no business putting out there, you make it difficult for the people that want to bring this stuff to you. You make it difficult for people like me who decide that I don't want shit to do with your attention hoeing business, and I want to learn this cast the way that SNK wants me to learn about this cast, versus getting messages on my blog and getting messages on YouTube like, why are you talking about this in this order, the way this cast was leaked? And I didn't say it to the dude on my blog directly, but I'm saying it now. I don't pay attention whores no attention. That's what this society has come to. Y'all became a bunch of attention whores, and that's what y'all do. Y'all go sit in the corner and go do whatever the fuck it is y'all do, because y'all fucking understand that attention and publicity or whatever is what keep you the fuck on top. Anyway, what they got to do with it is a whole nother video I'm planning to make entirely, so we will speak more to that But all I'm saying is this. Y'all need to quit the bullshit. For real. I'm just going to say that live. Just quit the bullshit, alright? If you know some information, keep it to your motherfucking self. I'm like, at this point, game companies for real, with all this information getting leaked, more you niggas need to start signing NDAs. Y'all need to become like voice actors with the shit. Sign some NDAs for you say some shit. So if you say some shit, you know your legal ass on the fucking line. How about that? Enough about that though. Within everything the fuck I just talked about, attention whores and shit, I am happy that I did this the way that I wanted to. That I wanted to learn this cast the way SNK wanted me to learn about this cast. And because of it, because the first real surprise I got, was when Geese was announced, and it was that hint of Joe in it. And it was like, word? Like, I'm like, for everybody who knew about the leak cast list and how it was allegedly confirmed and shit, you knew Joe was in the fucking game already. But when I sat up here and had to download the trailer and then look at it frame by frame and then look at it like, is that don't look like somebody that I recognize from anything I see yet. And then the pause to take a screenshot, oh shit, it's Joe Higashi. I freaked out. See, when you sit up here and you give attention whores your attention, those are the type of opportunities that get snatched from you. This info dump this morning was a lot of confirms of shit I guessed, and we will get into that. But because I didn't fall into that hype of I need to know, because I treated it like that was none of my motherfucking business. And for me, it has paid dividends and blessings and understanding that I know that when I see that, oh, I call that the Mui shit is another example of a character I call 6 years for any nigga in the universe even thought about the character being in a fighting game. Called that shit just on zoom zooms and wham whams. And then to see that, oh, when I get my trailer, oh shit, it's Mui from Dragon Gale, the fucking pachinko machine no one's heard of. It's shit like that that lets me know that this is the way that I wish to consume my media. That if I can go and avoid a Wikipedia article or an accidental Google search, because I don't know how many accidental Google searches have spoiled things for me because somebody's advertised on the front page, oh, this motherfucker finna die in the next episode. Oh, fucking really? I ain't even watched the last one yet, bruh. I'm just saying, what we about to get into is a lot of confirms and things like that. Yo, thank you SNK for, regardless of whatever y'all plans might have been, for staying the course and being like, man, yo, the cast out there, but we gonna do it the way we gonna do it. And again, like I said, all you attention hoes out there, man, y'all need to really be really careful about the attention that you seek and at what cost you seeking it at. That's all I'm gonna say about that. We done been talking bullshit for 9 minutes. Let's talk this fucking trailer. Because I'm not finna play the trailer because I have no idea how the fuck that will fly back on YouTube. But luckily for me, I'm the one with a blog that sits up here and breaks all this information down. So I got a pretty nice skeleton to talk about this information with you guys. So, let's get started. Here's what we know at this point. We know 49 of the 50 characters. We have no idea what the hell's going on with a turnoff. We have no idea what's going on with him other than he's the sponsor and that he is the reason why Sylvie Kukuri and that, what's her name? I think her name is Mela. I think. Let me see. I'm scrolling down on the internet because this is what I got to do to get this information. Mian, I'm sorry, her name is Mian because she's a female, because if you look, you can see some boobs. I know some life when I see it, damn it. Let your ass know. That's all we know about a turnoff. And it's like, I love how the opening of that trailer is a throwback to KOF 94, dog. The fallen envelope got the A up, got the A on it and everything. That shit is sick. I lost it. I'm like, this trailer gets me. That's what it was. This trailer gets me. It knows what I need as a fan, and it gave me that from the start. It gave me that from Jump Street, and I'm just like, yo, I appreciate that in a way that, you know, that probably even most fans don't. I'm not sitting up here saying that my fan dick is bigger than yours or anything like that. What I am saying is, as someone who loves this series as much as I do, I can appreciate how important and how special opening a trailer like that with that kind of imagery means and represents. I'm like, I saw that shit and was like, this is what y'all gonna do. This is what it is. How we gonna do it? This is what's up. And I'm just like, okay, I'm with you. And then the trailer started, because now I've changed my mind about my original plan, and I'm actually going to pull up the trailer now, because that's what I do. And as soon as I can scroll and find the trailer in my stuff, here we go. There we go. Put it in my media player like so. Yeah, I know when the game comes out. We have to discuss that later. Anyway, the trailer started. We finna watch the trailer again live. We gonna watch the trailer again live. SNK done dropped the Playmore. That's sick. They done dropped that. Here it is. I declare the King of Fighters open. The 3-on-3 team battle format will be kept this year, and I hope to see all of you participate in this new edition as well. Over and out, Antonon. And I'm like, yo, look, all these characters that I love just doing work. This is just insane. I'm like, and yes, internet, this game is not. Oh, yeah, that was the. Okay, I need to rewind this trailer for a minute, because I need to rewind the trailer to about, let me see. No, hold up, let's see, K there. No, that's Leona, no. 37 seconds, tears flowed from my eyes, and I'm a grown-ass man, and I will fucking admit, I saw Nakaruru and cried. Well, I didn't cry, it was more of an outpouring of my emotional being at that time, and 37 seconds in this trailer is that because, again, I didn't pay no attention. I learned through this trailer that SNK did the one thing I thought it would never do, and that's include a Samurai Showdown character. We will talk more about this, but again, just remember KOF 11 and all the extra hidden bosses that were in that game, and we will discuss that. Look, Nakaruru being in this game, that is historic. At the same time, it's kind of sort of canon to Samurai Showdown and the SNK Prime universe all at the same time. It's stuff, and there are opportunities for me to discuss SNK's canon, because there is a video on this channel that does that. It is, trying to think, what video was that? I think it was the original video when I was about to do an opus about the KOF series back when 13 was finna come out so long ago. And then things happened that I will not talk about, because talking about those things makes me angry, and I don't want to get angry, because this is a happy time. Look, we will talk more about Nakaruru later, because we still got 2 trailers we got to get through. This is amazing. Seeing one of my favorite Samurai Showdown characters in KOF, what this does is that it gives me hope for other teams that I've always wanted to see. The team that I've always wanted to see in KOF was Theo, Marco, and Hyakutaro. That is a team for Metal Slug I've always wanted to see. And with the heavy crossover between Akari Warriors and Metal Slug, seeing a character like Nakaruru, that that makes that possibility even more realer, that is something that KOF could do in the future. Because here's what I understand about KOF canon when it comes to Metal Slug. Metal Slug is canon to SNK Prime. That is something that happens. So don't even try to worry your head about that, because those events in Metal Slug are things that are reflected in KOF canon too. We'll talk about that later. Just know it can happen. I will have another video about characters I wish were a part of this roster, because there are a couple of characters who I think would make an amazing transition to KOF in its current state. Now that I've talked about Nakaruru and stuff that a bunch, let's press play on this trailer again, because that's what I'm finna do. See, look at that. All this stuff. That's the new dude Shun. We gonna talk deeply about him. Oh no, let's rewind this. Let's rewind this for a minute, because it was at this point that we found out the first 48 characters, including, and well, technically 49, because Antonov is in the beginning, being the sponsor of the tournament and all that, and we'll get more into that in a minute, is, let's start with Team Japan. From left to right, Goro Damon, Kyo Kusanagi, and Benimaru Nikaido. I'm like, I said this on my blog, and I'll say it again. Ever since the end of KOF 97, it's been weird going for Team Japan, because after 97, especially when they start, plucking Kyo from a team, and then him being on a special edit team with Iori and Shizuru, is that, remember this, KOF 99 was trying to do the Street Fighter 3 thing by eliminating characters that kind of mattered in the first place, but don't now, because the Kyo clones and Iori were supposed to have nothing to do with KOF, but then they took it to a test and everybody was asking where Kyo and Iori was, so they added them, and then they added the two Kyo clones, to give you a choice between, the way he used to be in the older games that preceded 99. And Iori, he just Iori, we about to talk about him in a second. The thing is, when it comes to that team, is that Kyo was an added character in 99 and 2000. Because, he was an added character in 99 and 2000, and then he joined the extended Team Japan team that had Shingo on it in 2001. 2002 was a dream match, that don't count. And then 2003, he was an added character again. Yeah, he was an added character in 2003. But you could put him, Iori, and Shizuru together again as the three treasures. Because in 2003, the team that would have been Team Japan had Goro, Benimaru, and Shingo on it. Then King of Fighters 11 happened, and then Kyo and Iori were on the team with Shingo. Then King of Fighters 12, for a decent game as it is, that just fucked everything up. And then King of Fighters 13 put Team Japan back together because SNK didn't know what the hell to do. So it's weird. It is a weird thing. Just know that when it comes to Team Japan, it's a weird thing. Know this though, because I said this on my blog too, is that given Team Japan's current composition, I guarantee you something story-wise is going to happen, and by the end of this, Kyo will not be a part of that team. You have my guarantee, because even though the story is darting away from him with Shune, is that it'll come back around to Kyo, and he'll have something to do with this, and maybe at some point Shizuru will come back, because, it don't really take that long to really heal from an ass beating, because Ash is dead now. So there's that. You get to Team Yagami, and you got Mature, Iori, and Vice, and here's what we know about that. At the end of King of Fighters 13, Mature Vice gave Iori a choice to be that he could free himself for the Purple Flames, or he could keep doing what the hell he's doing. And he decided, man, I don't care. I just want to fight people and kill people and set things on fire because I'm a Yorigami, blah, blah, blah. For all the internet that's wondering, this explains why Mature and Vice are back. My understanding that the game doesn't talk about, and what I'm going to hypothesize, is the following. The specters that are Mature and Vice are powered by the Orochi and less of the Yakusanyo Magatama, which gives them the ability to, be entities in this world and exist as flesh and blood because of the power of Orochi. That is all that you need to know and consider. They're dead people alive because of magic stuff, and this is KOF, so this shouldn't be strange to you in any way. Moving right along, Team K-Dash. Again, they just fan favorites. That's it. Every day with Kula is a good day. And they got story stuff, but the game don't really touch on it unless it feels the need to, and it doesn't. The last time I know the story touched on finding out the truth about who K-Dash and Whip and Kula Diamond really are was KOF 11, and even that didn't give us much. Because again, a lot of what I don't know about KOF 13, I bet you if it was something like that important that happened in a story, that even through osmosis, I would probably know about that information. So, they just here because, like I said, they fan favorites. So, I don't see any point or any reason to get rid of fan favorite characters, just for the sake of story, because, you need to fill out a roster of 50 characters with some damn body. Team Fatal Fury. Terry Bogard, his brother Andy, and of course Joe Higashi, the Muay Thai champion. I'm like, we just talked about Joe earlier, man. Yo. Official now. First official confirmed. Here in this trailer. Right here for that ass. Right here. Oh, excuse me. My water at? Hold up. I had to get my water in there. Y'all gotta excuse me. Look. Just a fun fact, just so you know, is that Team Fatal Fury, no matter what, always has Terry in it. There's only been one time in the history of this series, and we just talking about mainline KOF. We ain't talking about side games and shit, because we could get into a whole thing about that, but I'm saving that for something special. Is the following. In KOF 11, that was the only installment where a Fatal Fury team did not feature either Andy or Joe. That year, that team was filled with Kim and Duck King, who I wish would come back, because Duck King was the shit in 11. He wasn't the best character in the world, but he was one of my favorites, though. I love using Duck King. Duck King a beast. And he was even more beast when you actually use the balance. They gave him another way to do his dream capsule, but everybody pretends the balance for KOF 11 in the home ports don't exist, so there's that. Water. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, okay. Okay, I got my burns back. Let's see, hold up. Give me a second, internet. Give me a second. Got something caught in my throat. I don't know what the hell it is. Hope something that try to fly down my throat. I got my back door open. That might not be the most smartest thing in the world to do when you recording a damn video. Okay, I'm good now. Alrighty. Let me see. Yeah, we talked about these guys. More Team Fatal Fury. I'm like... Actually, I'm finna pull that up real quick, because I forget what the name of that damn move is, because I need to say the name of that damn move live on the internet. I need y'all to know. The name of Terry's Climax DM is called the Starduck Volcano. I saw that this morning on that Twitch stream, and holy shit, that is an amazing CDM. That is the bomb, yo. I'm like, one of my favorite characters, though. That is insane. I'm not really feeling, the half circle back twice thing, and at the same time, you could have gave him the rising beat or something. At least, second best KOF game gave him that move. But, I'm not going to lodge a complaint. Not going to do it. This is where we lodge our complaints, but I can excuse that one. Team Dirty South, Team Mexico with Hiro Tizak. I know him better as King of Dinosaurs. Ramon, who for the first time in his history is seen without Vanessa somewhere near. And Miss Angel. Ooh-wee. Look, I called this Ramon shit a couple months ago. Allegedly, according to the leak list, because I looked at the leak list, once all 48 characters were there, I went to look at the leak list to see, how accurate it was. That shit was pretty damn accurate, I won't lie. But the thing is that when they revealed that it was King of Dinosaurs and Angel and wrestling characters, it wasn't hard to really put Ramon in that spot because, he is a wrestler from good old Mexico, from where Speedy Gonzalez is from, Dirty South, Look, this is probably my favorite team composition in KOF 14. Simply because of Ramon and Angel. Because you have both of them on the same squad. Characters that, while they get love, they fan favorites and not necessarily characters that you could really design around being in a game with. And I can understand that because, again, all those years of issues with Angel and the Yolith and the owning of all the characters and stuff, I never quite figured out how Foxy worked. Because, she didn't make any appearances, but she was in Neo Wave, though. Before anything. So, I don't really know how that even works. I couldn't even begin to start to tell you how that works, but it does, I guess. Like I said, I'm feeling this team. And I'm really glad. Like I said, my thing is, especially with King of Dinosaurs, is that I'm feeling that they trying to do a throwback thing with him, similar to what they did when when Rodden became Big Bear in Fatal Fury 2. I'm feeling it. That's amazing. That that they would think about that we got a character that we can use, but let's flip him. I can do nothing but respect that. Moving right along, Team Kim with Kim, Luong, and Gangil. Here's what we know about this. From my understanding, well, at least according to the leak list, and this is just, I don't know, because it was from my understanding that the leak list was translated from Chinese into English, and the English wasn't really as accurate as the Chinese was to the thing, but according to what it said, from what I read earlier this morning, is that Luong and Gangil are husband and wife, and Gangil is Kim's master. That is how they're going with this. Here's the thing that I picked up on. It may be possible that Gangil and Luong may be the link to Kensu Will from Kizuna Encounter. I need to play Kizuna Encounter. I could stop this right now and play Kizuna Encounter if I wanted to. I have the full Super Combo PS2 game somewhere in this room, so if I wanted to play some Savage Rain or some Kizuna Encounter, I could do that. I should just do that. How about I just do that? How about I stop the video and just pick Rosa and Kim and just play Kizuna Encounter? I should just do that. Or maybe the thing that will probably end up happening, if I just play Savage Rain and just play Carol, because why isn't Carol in KOF? But we'll talk about that another time. My thing is with this team is that I wish this was Mei Lee and Jun, but you get what you can, and I'm interested to see how Gan Il moves. I'm interested to see how a Taekwondo master does what he does. I am interested in that. Thank you, computer. Team Women Fighters with Ma Shiradui, King, and Alice Garnet Nakata. Let's see. Alice is more important to SNK canon than you would even think she is. Well, at least where her alleged origins come from, at least this version of Alice. From according to SK Wiki and things that I know, is that there was a character named Alice Chrysler, who was supposed to be in Fatal Fury 3, and she was supposed to replace Mai, but then they dropped that like early in development. But there are mentions of Alice Carroll in Maximum Impact 2, because she's a friend of Shay Lim, so you know it may be that this Alice and Alice Chrysler in the different SNK universes that make up everything may be the same character with two different names and exist in different places. However, I do not know if that's true or false, and even given that the only other information that we have on Alice is based off Days of Memories and the little bit she did do in the Legend of the Wild Wolf Patch Slot game, is Alice could be anything. But we know she's a Terry fanboy, so I wouldn't mind seeing her do a Buster Wolf, but at the same time, I want to see SNK do something interesting with this character. Because when you have characters like this who are blank slates, who don't really have anything to do fighting game wise, because again, I've watched some videos of the Legend of Wild Wolf Patch Slot game. Alice don't do much. She don't. So anything she do is new. Any way they want to take this is the way they want to take this. And I want that hat. I want that hat. That look better than my hat. The black and white with the red trim. No, that's sick. That bra, that's hot. That she wearing it way down here, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to show more titty than mine. And you know, I can respect that swagger. And you know, I like King new look. She look mature now. We'll talk more about all the fighting characters and how mature they look in a bit. And those piercing brown eyes, and you know, her jiggle ain't the same. I learned that this morning going through the footage from the Twitch stream. So you know, it's a lot there. Team South America, cause I gotta scroll down on my blog cause I forget this girl's name. Zarina Nelson and Bandera Satori, who I thought was a Ninja fanboy, but he's not. His story is he trying to channel his art of fighting, because the only reason he entered KOF was so people would come to his ninja dojo and learn how to run with their hands behind their back and then run really fast, because allegedly, according to science, it's more aerodynamic than normally running. The shit you learn on Facebook. The thing about Zarina is this. If she's not a capo, I would be damn surprised if she is not a capo. Wouldn't be surprised at all. At the same time, if she is that it was a very, very low chance of Momoko coming back in the first place. This kind of even seals it if she is. But if she isn't, is that again, I'm just taking a guess that she might be a capo, because in a team where you got a boxer with a cyber hand, you got a ninja, and you got this girl who you don't know who she is rolling around with, I don't know, I'm supposed to know my damn birds. What kind of bird is that? Shit. That's a toucan. Triple, that's a toucan, baby. It's a toucan. Thank you, me. I know now. It's a toucan. Look. This is going to be an interesting team to keep a part of. I'm just hoping Zarina's information comes out sooner rather than later because I want to know what she's all about. Team Akari Warriors. Leona Iron, Ralph Jones, and Clark Steele. In the other trailer that came out this morning, because we're going to talk about this now, because I probably had no reason to talk about that when we watched trailer 2, is that there is a part in trailer 2 where Leona's hair is red, her eyes are red, like she's been taken over by Orochi, and she does a V-slasher on Chang. I have no idea at this moment if that's an alternate costume, because that's something that they've never done before. They've never once showed an alternate color for any character in any trailer until that point. So I am having a hard time believing that that's an alternate costume and that it's possible that she may be able to actually tap into her Orochi power. The only other game I know that let her do this was the King of Fighters 2002, and that's a dream match, so it don't count. So, if she's able to fully control the Orochi, that will be an interesting, and I mean an interesting turn for the character, because that will give her something unique and new. And Ralph and Clark, they throw people, drop kick a nigga every now and then, throw him or whatever. That's what they do. Why would they do anything else? That's just what they do. Let them do what it is they do. How about that? Team Southtown. Geese Howard, Billy Kane, and new character Hein. And yes, I had the first same thought that probably many people who know their SNK lore like I do did. How is this dude, if in any way, is he related to Marie and Kine? Or more so, for the answers you may be seeking, Rock Howard. Remember this. In KOF, Geese used the Gen Scrolls. You can't kill him. This is important, and it will be on the test because we're going to have to discuss this later. Know that. Given with how loose KOF has played with its relation to the Prime canon, is when KOF 2003 came out. It came out under the assumption, because it added Gato and it added Tizak, was that things and characters that happened in Mark of the Wolves were going to start bleeding into KOF's current canon. And they did to a degree. Then KOF 12 happened, and we have been on this weird, we don't know where we are in canon since then. I have no idea at all what this Hein fellow means to anything. I don't know. If he is related somehow to Marie, Kine, and Rock, we'll learn soon, because the game has a story mode. We'll talk more about that later, and we'll have to get some answers somehow. So until then, sit back and chill, and we'll be talking more about everybody's favorite immortal crime lord, Geese Howard, in a minute, because Geese don't usually get in KOFs, and if Geese is about to stain hands with blood, namely yours, if there has to be a legitimate reason why he wouldn't just send Billy and somebody else to do it, which would usually be Yamazaki because he's a favorite of his, but we'll get more into that later. Team Art of Fighting, or Team Ryoko no Gen, I kind of like that better. Ryo Sakazaki, Robert Garcia, and Yuri Sakazaki. Again, I'm saying, I'm feeling the aged up and mature look of the characters from AOF. Is that Robert got the mustache now, because he probably think gonna make him a porno tape, and Rio, he Rio, and Yuri, she's still super cute as she always is. It's just that her face look a little more mature in his art style. So I originally thought when they did what they did with Robert, giving him his porn stash and everything, shout out to Orange is the New Black, is they was gonna do something similar with Yuri. Because again, if you don't know, you should probably play Garou Mark of the Worlds on the Dreamcast. Now, actually, you can play it on 360 because it's in that gallery too. Is that there's a picture in the gallery of Mark of the Worlds that has an older Yuri in it. So I thought that's the way they were going with it, but I guess not. The question I do have is, I wonder what type of Capcom nods Yuri is going to have, if any at all. Because I have no idea, if they're going to keep up that tradition. Because if you don't know, Yuri was the character they used to poke back at Capcom because of Dan. In KOF 13, she has the what move is that? She has the demon flip. She has Akuma's demon flip in KOF 13. In the past game, she's had Felicia's opening taunt, and she's had her own raging demon move. It's a lot of things. If you really want to go research like all the different Capcom nods Yuri's had over the years, I suggest you do it. Because, you know what I'm saying, you'll have a fun time, you'll play a whole bunch of KOF games, and it will be amazeballs. Team Villains: Choi Bones, Xanadu, and Shane Gohan. Here's something you may not know. This was originally supposed to be the plan for KOF 94. The original plan was Chang and Choi was supposed to team up with some other random escape convict, and they were going to be a team. However, they couldn't figure out a third for them, so they threw Kim in there and the whole rehabilitation thing, and it's been that way since then. However, Chang, for some reason, at some point, ended up in Southtown jail. You would really think Southtown would, have a jail that could keep him in, and, Choi, man, who knows what the hell he been doing. This Xanadu fellow, however, this is who I'm interested in. I'm interested in him not only because he's a new character, but because he's this team's leader. You don't become the leader of Chang and Choi and not have some reasoning for being the leader of the team. I am interested to know what this character is about. I am very, very invested and interested in knowing what this character is about. I want to know. I want to know. Team Another World: Mori Mori, Nakaruru, and Love Heart. Yes, Internet. I did call 67% of this team 6 years ago. I did do that. I did do that on NeoGaf, and I shouldn't be name dropping them because they don't pay me to do that. But yes, I name dropped this team 6 years ago. Hell, yeah, I name dropped this team 6 years ago, and NeoGaf owes me a nickel for 10 cents for name dropping them because they don't pay me for that. Anyway, this is another interesting team because on the channel I have all of the promotional movies for the Dragon Gal games that exist, and when Love Heart's trailer comes out with her in it, though I will do the same thing for Love Heart. I will do the same thing so you guys will understand and know what Sky Love's about. Here's the thing you should know. It's important to understand that the glue that surprisingly holds this team together is this team's leader. Nakaruru, because she is a goddess of nature and has done so on multiple occasions, has the ability to walk into different planes of existence, or in the case where we're talking about, different universes of the SNK's possible canon. Because it has been reflected in endings in Samurai Showdown that she is able to cross over into worlds, and I think in one ending in some game that I forget is that she actually crosses over into what would be our world, the real one. So it is very possible that in her, I'm going to walk through dimensions, that she was able to pick up the 2 Passage Fly characters and now they're all in KOF. I am still trying to wrap my head around this. I'm still trying to wrap my head around these 3 characters in the state in which they exist in this video game. Because I don't know. I just don't know. And if I did, and believe me, if I knew, I would be telling you, because it's my responsibility to, because due diligence and blah. I want to know what's good with Love Heart. That's all I'm interested in. We got a peek at Nakaruru and Mui doing her dirt. I want to know more about Love Heart. That's what I want to know. So hopefully, if we going back to Trailer Thursday, hopefully Zarina and Love Heart are in that trailer. And maybe Xanadu, maybe. But we'll talk more about that later. But moving right along, Team Psycho Soldier, Miss Athena Asamiya, Shin Gensai, and C. Kenso. I just finally just stared at this, and I'm trying to figure out why my nephew Kenso rocking his bowl cut, son. What the hell up with this? I ain't got no right to talk about no man's hair, because I still ain't shaved my fucking face yet. Anyway, this was going to be the team, because I thought for a second that because if they would have revealed Athena first, is that maybe it would have been, maybe they might try to throw Momoko back in here. Maybe Bao is ready to come back to KOF. Maybe Kaoru's been learning some Psycho Soldier powers from being in that wheelchair all the time to walking, and maybe she grabbed some superpowers from one of them or something. I don't know. The thing is, this is the team that always represents Psycho Soldier. And I respect I respect that the game treats this as important to always have at least some combination of this represent Psycho Soldier. We all know the 1 year that didn't happen was because of that side plot that no one talks about, and SNK has completely forgotten about, which you can go read on your own on a wiki or some shit, is this. I am trying to, again, this is another thing I'm trying to figure out, because Kenso is the big question here. Even through all this info dump, there hasn't been a hint of Kenso yet. Kenso underwent some major changes that started in KOF 12 and in KOF 13, and it made him a different type of beast. Kenso was a monster if you knew what you were doing. If you knew how to mash the buttons and then, Neo-Max into things, but, that's another conversation. I'm just interested to know how much of KOF 12 and KOF 13 Kenso we going to see in this Kenso, because it's going to be interesting. The other thing we know is that Athena doesn't have the Psycho Shoot anymore from the Shining Crystal Bit. It's actually a move now. It's actually like she can throw like a very quick fireball that explodes. Similar to what Bao used to do, where Bao used to charge a ball of energy and then just fling it and then it would like explode, but not quite like that. So again, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I am only interested at this point to see how much Kenso has changed, but it's always good to see my favorite psychic idol do a thing, because it is what it is with that. Team official invitation. I forget this girl's name. Again, I forgot this girl's name twice in this video. That makes me a bad person or something. I don't know. But it's Mian, Sylvie, Paula, and Kukuri. Sylvie and Kukuri have, like I said earlier, have been question marks this whole time. But we now know the reason these three are in this tournament are because of a turn-off. We know that information now. It doesn't change. We don't know anything. But at least we kind of understand that given history, and this is important as hell here, is when somebody decides we're going to run a KOF tournament, you always have some sinister master plan in mind. And when you have the girl who looks like a little girl but is actually an adult somehow, because you need to watch her full CDM for that information, and Kukuri, who we have no idea about, and Mian, who we know nothing about either, is there's something afoot with this. And I have a feeling that by the end of the story mode in KOF 14, we're going to understand what's really good with these three characters and how they all fit into a turn off, and whoever's the true master plan of the master plan. We're going to learn all that information. Until then, we can only wait to see what Mian is all about. That's all we can do at the moment. That's all we can do is sit back and wait on that information. And Team China, with Shunei, Nakaruru, and Mei-Kun. And Mei-Kun, actually, I pronounce that person's name. I'm sorry. Look. Here is where I am starting to ask questions. Important questions. Come up with awesome fan theories because of what I know about Nakaruru and KOF and things that used to be canon that aren't anymore. In Real Bout Fatal Fury, I think that was Fatal Fury, Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, is that the Jin twins were allegedly, after the events of Fatal Fury 3, the Jin twins were allegedly reincarnated somehow, but still had their powers and could fight. And I think Chonrei went with Tung and Chonsu went with Kim. I think that's how that worked. The thing is that my fan theory about Shunei and Mei-Kun is they are the reincarnation of the Jin twins. Because I really wouldn't see any other reason for Tung to be on the team with them, even though it's Team China. I'm like, I would assume that there are a lot of things you could do with Tung in this game, and the possible characters you could put him with, including the team that I want to see of Tung, Lee Palong, and Jubei Yamada, because I think KOF needs that. There are a lot of questions. And at this moment, when it comes to Shunei and Mei-Kun, we don't have a lot of answers. All I have right now is the fan theory that they may be the reincarnated version in KOF for the Jin twins. And if that's not the case, if you have a power that has been demonstrated by Shunei in both of these trailers, is you would want somebody, a master of a whole bunch of martial arts, and Nakaruru, making sure that this kid with the headphones on his head can keep his power in check before he accidentally kills someone with it. The thing is that you don't become the main character of a KOF game and the bad guy's not after you for some reason. Let's just make the historical assumption that even if my fan theory is wrong, whoever Tonoff is dealing with, whoever he clicked up with, want whatever Shunei got. And if they get their hands on it, it's going to be trouble for people. That's all we need to know right now. I would love to see what Mei-Kun can do. However, at this moment, we have nothing to go on. We have nothing to go on with this information, so we do what it is that we can. And then after that, it was more trailers. Like, yeah, there are 48 characters. We know this. And the turn-off makes 49 and the secret boss. And yeah, you can do climax cancels now. For anybody that don't know what a climax cancel is that it is the ability to do a DM into a climax DM. Kind of like a dream cancel, but with no with no tech stocks to use. So if you don't know what a skill stock is, you should play KOF 11 because it's the best KOF game ever. That is also another conversation for another day, and we're just gonna watch the rest of this part. You guys are not going to see this. Y'all not gonna see this because I'm not putting this trailer up twice. Now I'm gonna stop the trailer again because we get to the part where we learn that in max mode you can do that you can do. This is the only way you can do EX moves in this game. Is when you're powered up in max mode, which, as I stated on my blog, which is an accidental nod to Darkstalkers and the extra special system, where when you get fully boosted up to special, the next special you do is an EX. Except in this one, you can do a whole bunch of EXs before your max mode gauge runs out. The other thing that I learned from the Twitch stream was max mode is actually tied to the advantage system. Is that when you start a fight, you only have half of the possible max mode gauge you would have if you were on your last character. So from what it looked like, from based off the information or what I've seen, is that you start with half of it, and then when you lose a character, you gain 25% more max mode duration and a stock as you usually would in an advantage situation, and then when you lose both characters, you'll have a full gauge and 5 stocks. So there's that information, and we're just going to watch Joe throw these hurricanes, and then we're going to watch King of Dinosaurs do max mode combos because that's how it works. The rush mechanic. I will admit this internet. When I didn't quite understand why KOF had this mechanic in the first damn place, is I was kind of freaked out because I wasn't sitting up here, screaming like, what in the hell, are they doing to my KOF? But it's more like, why would you even do that in the first place? But then I sit up here and remember this. KOF is trying to aim for everybody. Is that it want to get everybody in there and make it feel like you're doing something. And make it feel like you're doing something with the simplest of ease. And I can respect that. Is that when Persona did it for the reason because it knew there were people who were going to play Persona 4 Arena and not care about the fighting game, but have to get through a story mode where fights happen. So we need a way for you, to at least make an attempt to fight back and feel good doing so. KOF is in the same boat. Ultimately, if you were going to play KOF 14 at any level beyond of dicking around with it, you're going to have to learn the game of normal command, normal special move at a minimum. Maybe super cancel. Maybe even critical cancel. The thing is, climax cancel. See, I'm thinking critical arts. I'm thinking of, the Rumblefish, because we ain't going to talk about that other game now here. Is that these are things that are just going to be a fact of life. It's what it's going to be. It is what it's going to be. So, there are people on the internet, people posted their thoughts on the trailer this morning about what the fuck are you doing pressing low punch in my KOF game. And I can understand for the purists being like, man, why would you do that? But I understand is that KOF's trying to appeal to everybody. It's trying to make that money. So they doing what they can. So by including something like this, it doesn't alienate the OGs. It just gives somebody a gateway to say, for right now, I'm just going to press square a whole bunch and cool shit's going to happen. And that may just be enough of the spark for that person playing to understand that maybe I want to learn how the game really works. Because again, all it takes is a spark to start a fire. And rush combos may be the spark that it takes to bring more people into the game and get better and help the game grow. And that I can respect. I'm going to pull back up the trailer because for some reason I minimized it for whatever reason. I minimized something that I knew I was going to use in the middle of talking about it. Next we get to this mode overview. And man, it's a lot of modes in this game. We're going to let us go through the trailer. It's a story mode, and you know, there's Kyo talking to Shune. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of information cooler than Angel. You got, let's see, it's Chen and Chong. Terry and Geese, they look a lot more civil than you would think two people who would try to repeatedly kill each other looking civil during this conversation, I guess. But I guess adults can be adults. You got mission mode. Let me rewind this real quick. Rewind it just a little bit. When you're in mission mode, you got trial mode, time attack mode, and survival mode. Modes that aren't new to KOF whatsoever. There are things I could talk about KOF 11 and that final mission with Terry versus Geese, but that's another conversation. So, you know, it's good that it has these modes, and again, every fighting game in history that's worth something has a training mode, but not every fighting game. I don't want to sit up here and say that because then I'd be alienating decent fighting games that don't have training modes. Unlike Power Instinct 1 on the SNES had a training mode. So, and that's the earliest training mode in a one-on-one fighter I remember. That is the earliest training mode in a fighting game I remember was the training mode in Power Instinct 1 on SNES. There may have been something earlier, but if there's one, I can't think of it right at this moment. They also have a gallery mode, which again isn't too strange to KOF because the game that got me into this series, KOF 99, had one on the PS1. I was going to say something, but I won't because that's something special. You guys are just going to have to wait for that. A long-awaited 3 players per team versus online battle. It isn't really long-awaited when KOF 12 did it, even though the internet and the world would like to forget the things that KOF 12 tried to do. I should play KOF 12 for reasons. Because it's been a very long time since I played it. I played KOF 13 recently because I needed some information for one of the updates to the Pocket Change article, but we'll get into that. The thing is, this is going to be interesting because you have been able to do this for years on Kairo. I have no idea if you can do this on GGPO because I have never used it a day in my life. Maybe you can and maybe you can't. I could Google it, but I don't care enough to Google it because I'm never going to use the information. And somebody who would know this information already knows it. And I'm looking in like the little space in between my tower inside of Betsy, and that shit is dirty and I need to clean it. Anyway, this is going to be interesting for the simple fact that it's going to be interesting. Is that again, y'all know me, and people that don't, I don't do online too much. I don't do online unless it's for my scientific and personal selfish research to answer my own questions, and I really don't think that a game telling me it's going to do this, and I know this, doesn't warrant any further investigation from me. So I'm going to hit play again, and it's going to show Clark and Iori because, you know, it's a party battle. And you also have online training mode, which has been a thing since Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So there's that. So you can online train with your homies because another game that people try their best to forget, which was actually a decent game and probably close to Capcom vs. SNK 3, the Street will get for a long while, is online training mode then. So if you got a homie you want to train with, you can do that. It's probably one or two people that I would actually love to sit up here and get in the lab with, but they know who they are. They probably watching this video, so Shout to y'all. So, burn knuckle. And then there's the rest of this trailer, where for some reason, Mama Haha and Nakaruru have fused into some bird thingy, and someone's about to get horribly stabbed. And then, there's Angel's boobs, and, we love those. And then she hits somebody with an RKO. And then there's Kukuri making it rain sand. And then there's Clark, and then he's super atomic. Super Argentine busted somebody. And then with Sylvie with this boot, that's a nasty boot, son. And then they just showed Tung Fu Wu making a clap, literally. And Troy, he about to spin into a circle. And then, look at that's a dumbass uppercut Nelson just did on Terry. That was a dumbass uppercut. Do you hear me, internet? That was a dumbass uppercut. And then King of Dinosaurs, he just slammed somebody into the ceiling. And then, I think that was the end of Vice's new CDM. And then, that's a big giant motherfuck you laser beam that Maxima just shot. And Chen sipping on some scissor. And Mafia do her CDM. And then there's Shune. And that is trailer 1. And we've been at this for how long? It took me minus the first hour to break down the trailer. But then when I think about it, it took me about 8 to write the blog article where I got the information from. So it doesn't really seem like, that much of a stretch. So we're finna get into trailer 2 right now. I gotta rewind it because I was watching it early because I need to grab some screenshots for the blog. Well, let's get started. We're gonna watch trailer 2 real quick. We almost done. Oh no, pause it. So let me scroll down my blog here because I got some notes. I'm gonna pause this trailer. I got some notes. I got some notes for that ass. I'm gonna let you know. I got notes, baby. I got notes. Plenty of them. Oh, and at the end of the trailer, before we continue, is we know the game comes out on August 23rd. Everywhere, I think. So, I was hoping I would have more time to do that thing I wanted to do, but it looks like I'm going to have to, sit up here, plan that, and try to rush that out as quick as possible. So, I got plans for stuff. We'll talk about it later. Let's watch the trailer. See SNK's logo without the Playmore, because we just know you with SNK, Shin Nihon Kyaku, and Nakaruru clowning. If you want to know everything it is that she did in this trailer, I'm going to have a link to the blog post, because I got new names and shit. I'm like, yo, y'all should see this shit. Yo, I put in this work. I'm going to tell y'all real quick what I go through when it's time to review a trailer to make sure that I have accurate information. I have, at a minimum, my Xbox, my 360, and my PS2 on standby if I need to legitimately put in a video game to make sure to double check that a move list, that a move on the internet is what it says it is. I've read more game facts than you can count at this point. I have watched myriads of videos just to double check and understand and make sure that a move from this game is not the move in this game, so I can make proper comparisons and all of that. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of fucking work, I will tell you. But again, like I said, Nakaruru clown in this trailer, she showed out. The one question I do have is that she has a Ranbu attack in this game that I have never seen before. So it's not like the move where she had in the past where she would jump on Mama High and then hit you and then smack you around with her scarf, I guess. But she doesn't even have her scarf, I don't think. Cause I don't think I see. Let me rewind this trailer real quick. I'm gonna take a look and see. I'm gonna run it back because it's gonna show a close up of Nakaruru from the start. She don't even have the scarf she would usually use to do this stuff on her in this game. So it kind of makes sense that they would give her a Rambo attack instead of giving her something that flashy. That's probably just to save money and time. And I can't blame them for that. So, let me see. No, trailer, stop. Okay, here we go. We got Kyo doing some stuff. Benimaru Colada, you know, the Ryoku Rambo. That was interesting. What Robert did in trailer 2. That is something that I'm going to give y'all a fun fact that is very hard to do in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum because Robert's a charged character. Because in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, you can super cancel Danner anything into a DM in that game. The thing is that because what you can do, and it's very possible to do this, you can have a high fireball, a low fireball, and a hollow Shokoken on the screen all at the same time. It is possible. With correct charge partitioning, you can have a low fireball, a high fireball, and a hollow Shokoken you can do, I think, a slow version of a fireball, then do another one, and as the first one's about to hit, and while the second was still traveling, you can super cancel the second one into a Hoshin Koki, and they all combo if you do it correctly. So in other words, go play some Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. You should have bought it last year when it was $5. I think I told the internet that. I think I screamed that from a rooftop or something. Oh, hold on for a second, y'all. I need to check something real quick. Damn, this trailer been uploaded. This thing been uploading all day. This is hilarious. Well, the trailer still work. Like, you can watch the trailer. I'm not going to say what it is I uploaded. But you can watch whatever this is. What is it pushing it out at? You can, okay. So, I'm going to have to tweet that out later. When I get done dealing with y'all. Okay, I should really stop reading YouTube comments because people are weird. Anyway, let me get back to this trailer real quick. Buster Wolf! Zankin! And that Ralph kick. Oh, damn, that brain buster. Here's the part of the trailer that I talked about earlier that I have questions about. I do not know if this is an alternate costume for Leona or not. I can't quite tell, but those boobs are amazing. Anyway, it's her hair is nice and red, and she does a V-slasher. I have no idea what's going on with that anyway. Do not know. Yori doing some stuff. Vice and CDM, we talked about that in the last trailer. K-Dash the chain drive. You know what I'm saying? I forget what is the name of that move. See, now I need to know what this is, so I'm going to open the third PDF of this video because I downloaded all the PDFs off the KOF website today. The Diamond Edge. That's what it's called. That's cool as DM, the Diamond Edge. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, PDF file. Maximum with that press. Came with the end of the surprise rose. And then Oh no, it's about to get real now. Because it's Shune's turn. This Shune kid is a monster. I can't even front. This dude got like L dashes and shit. I don't know what's going on with this dude. If he is the reincarnation of the Gen Twins, and this is how they clowning, regardless of not, if I was a bad guy, I would want the power to be disappearing and making devil and angel hands appearing and shit. This shit is nuts. And then Kim, he doing this thing, and Leon, we love her, you know what I'm saying? Leon, you know what I'm saying? She got bare feet, so for all you jury freaks out there, you know what I'm saying? It's another Taekwondo girl with bare feet. You can go do that. You can go beat your meat now, I guess. I don't know. And then Athena. And there's some chain right there. Chain, body flop. Hurricane muy with this giant ass shit called Doken thing. This is a giant ass fireball, dude. If this is not her CDM, dude, oh man. If this is a 1 meter move, that would be insane. Because that is a fireball that covers a lot of distance. And even given is that if it's a fireball of that length, that thing's gotta reach about maybe half screen, if not that more, given what we've seen in the trailer at this point. That's a big ass fireball. King of Dinosaurs, he biting things. Angel, you know what I'm saying? Loyalty test deliberate, you know, we gotta do what we gotta do. Chang, Tung Fu did some stuff. Nelson with that dumb uppercut, with that dumb punch on Banderas, and Banderas just did a body flop on this nigga, some ninja shit. I don't know. I ain't never seen Hanada do that. She don't ninja I ever cared about. Anyway, Sylvie, you know, straight sitting up her stealing things from Louise Mayring from fucking Carol X-Men Pack. And Kukri with this Sand Psycho Crusher, which I have named it because Kukri doesn't have a move list up yet, so I have no idea to what to refer to this as. Billy with the high end sound cone. Geese with some stuff, and that's a trailer, folks. That's trailer 2. That took a lot longer than 1. And in that trailer, you actually see Sylvie wake up. Because something I thought was a super move actually is her critical. It's like she falls asleep and then opens her eyes and she looks real serious. And then you get hit with some dumb shit. So that's going to be interesting. The third trailer that come out today, I don't even need to open it. Because we just going to talk about it quickly. And then I'm going to put this video up for the internet to see. Is that this game is doing what it's supposed to do and making sure that it can make some money after it's over. One of the things you can what you get when you pre-order the game is you get the classic Kyo outfit, which does raise questions about what other types of content will this game provide. We talked about attention whores earlier, and we got to go back to talking about it now. Because not as soon as I thought I would be able to go talk with the masses about this game, is another leaked list with DLC characters on it now, and I'm just sitting up here like, you can't, the universe won't let me have nothing, I guess. It will let your boy have zero, zip, nada, nothing. It will let me have nothing. It will let me have zero. Because I was really looking forward to, they didn't release all the people. And then I'm going to talk about the trailer. Not soon as I took my first break from updating the blog post, was I went to go check my news sites to see what was going on, to see what people thought. First thing I see, DLC leak roster for KOF 14 X. I can't deal with this shit right now. Can't do it. Can't do it, won't do it. If that is true, because of the type of game they're making, it's easy for them to do costumes you can buy. It's easy. I don't want to sit up here and say it's going to be easy for them to just sit up here and just pop out characters, you know, at some super fast ass clip. I'm not going to say that either. What I will say is this. It'll be interesting to see how KOF deals with DLC this time around. Because I will be honest, $15 for OG Yuri, Classic Kyo, and Mr. Karate in 13 was something I couldn't do. I'm happy to see the Steam version included those characters, but when they came out on the 360, I couldn't do it. But then it was at that point at the same time, I had stopped playing the game anyway, so, you know, it was like, why would I want to buy characters for a game I don't play? And so I never played as them. And the Steam version of KOF 13 don't work on this version of Betsy anyway, so I know the characters are there, just can't use them. I'll wait for the day that I'm going to get up and it's going to be where the characters on sale. Because that happens. So, It's either that or you can buy the PAL version of KOF 13 that actually has the characters on disc. So you have that option too. What KOF does with DLC, they have a lot of things they can do because it's a lot of characters in that game with alternate outfits. They have things they can reference from other games. They have a whole history list of things that they can do to improve this experience. Is that out the gate, we have a roster of 50 characters. 50 fully fleshed out characters to start with. KOF has done 66. That's the highest it's ever been. And that was Unlimited Match. I don't know if KOF 14 is going to reach 66. But if they could add characters to this roster, all we all can hope for is they choose characters that make sense. Characters that make sense for the reasons they make sense. Is that they can sit up here and they can throw this character and that character in there. But if they gonna do characters, they should really get polls out there to see what characters people want. Like, I could always use some Blue Mary. I could always use Blue Mary and Ashley's chest because that's why KOF Maximum Impact Regulation 8 is second best KOF game ever. Don't let me remind you again. Is that they have a lot of things they can do. I just want to see this game thrive. That's all I want. As a fan, that's all I want. All I want to do is see this game do what it does. And given what we are at this stage of things, and the game come out in August, but the game been in production forever, is that given all your mean jokes about how the game look and all of those shit, this is going to be a way better game than Street Fighter V is now. Street Fighter V still played with problems, and I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but at the same time, I can't really talk about a game I haven't played. Because I got my collector's edition, opened it, gave the game to Jay, and ain't seen it since. Don't want to see it, because it ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't finna play it. I'm like, I watched gameplay footage. The game looked amazing, but y'all got stuff missing from the core product when you release the video game because y'all trying to play esports. Y'all ain't Patrick Klepek. Esports my ass. Release a proper product or don't release one at all. KOF 14 is going to be a proper fighting game when it comes out, and I just hope that OG fans support it like you've been doing and new people come through to give it a chance. That's all you can really ask. There are a lot more questions and hopefully a lot more answers to come in the future. For now, though, you're free to go. I am excited beyond words that this game is happening and it is coming out at this clip. And again, I'm so glad I didn't pay the attention whores no attention, because this is the third time that being persistent and wanting to engage with the content the way I want to engage with the content paid off for me. And I'm blessed for that. SNK, keep doing your thing. And like I said, you know what I'm saying, I'm calling all y'all characters. I'm putting y'all business out in the street. I'm like, y'all need to get Segumi in there. I need that. I'm like, y'all can pull off Segumi. Maybe Moe Hibana or something. Miyu and Jun from KOF EX. They were great characters. It's something you can do with that. Even I don't know what you're going to do with Reggie, but you can do something with him too. Or I could just, find my cartridges for both the KOF EX games and just play those instead. Especially that bootleg copy I bought off eBay on accident. That's another story for another day. But I'm going to do some with the rest of this day because I got to make this video I got to turn this video into something. So I got to do that. But yo, it's been a great day. I'm glad I was able to get this on wax. If y'all want the word version of this, feel free to check out the Pocket Change article on my blog, www.blogspot.com. Feel free to do that. Cool, come out whenever it come out. Got everything you need about the past week, the way that I saw it, the way that it only matters that I seen it. There are some other things that'll be out before the end of the week, so be expecting all of that. The first episode of Dynamite Cop should be out sometime tomorrow, if not Wednesday. So be expecting that as well. And I think that's about it. Anything else that comes out that I didn't say will just be a surprise, and you'll just expect it when you see it. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because I have to turn this video into something you can watch. So with that, I am of course the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And of course, this is your other favorite YouTube show. That show we lovingly call around here, Triple the Guy Speaks On. And with that, I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.